All right, geometry, here's our proof. So we are given that AD and BC are parallel and segments AB and CD are parallel. We need to prove that angle B is congruent to angle D. So let's talk about the parallel lines. So AD is here, BC is here, AB is over here, and CD is over here. So this actually makes this a parallelogram. So this quadrilateral ABCD is actually a parallelogram. But it says right here, don't use the quadrilateral properties. B and D are opposite angles, so they will be congruent, but we're not going to use that idea. Okay, but it is a parallelogram. But from parallel lines, we can use those angle pair relationships, and I hope you can see the Z, and you're thinking, oh, maybe some alternate interior angles being congruent, right? Hopefully that's what you're thinking. We want to prove that angle B and angle D are congruent. Well, how are we going to do that if we don't use the fact that it's a parallelogram? Well, look what this parallelogram is broken into. It's broken into two triangles. How about we prove these two triangles congruent and then use CP/CTC to prove those angles congruent? How about that? Well, how are we going to do that? Well, let's plan it out right now. Parallel line, let's use AD and BC. Let's use AC as a transversal. Again, perfect. See the Z, right? Here's your two angles in that Z. They're going to be congruent by alternate interior angles. Let's do the same thing with these parallel lines, AB and CD. Use the same transversal AC. And now we have these two angles are alternate interior angles. They'll also be congruent. So right now we have an angle pair and an angle pair. So we need a side pair. Well, of course, when the two triangles touch, we use that side they share. There's your side pair. And these two triangles will be congruent by angle, side, angle. And that will allow us to use CP/CTC to prove angle B and angle D are congruent. So that's our proof, talked out loud before we do it. And again, I hope that you think about that as you do your own proofs of creating a plan before you start going to town. All right. So here's our plan in motion. So because AD and BC are congruent, let's do BCA and DAC. Angle BCA and angle DAC. And they are going to be congruent because if parallel lines are cut by a transversal, there are congruent alternate interior angles. Boom. And there's that pair. Okay. Now AB and CD. Let's do BAC and DCA. BAC and DCA. Same reason. Parallel lines cut, alternate interior angles congruent. Boom, and there's my second angle pair. Now let's use the reflexive property and that side they share. AC, AC by the reflexive property. Boom, and there is my side pair. And now I have angle, side, angle. These two triangles are congruent. Let's call the first one alphabetical order A, B, C. The second one is going to be C, D, A. A and C flip their correspondence, C, D, A. That is by angle, side, angle. And because those two triangles are congruent, yes, angle B and angle D will be congruent because they are corresponding parts of congruent triangles and they are congruent. Boom. There's my check mark. It's a little small for my taste. I prefer big check marks. Boom. Big green check mark. Great. Hopefully this helps. Good luck on the couple proofs you have for homework.